Hey, thanks for hitting that play button. Why don't you join me on my next live broadcast by downloading the Periscope app on your phone and following me at Colin Hiles.
As I say, let's jump in. So these mental maps, right? And as we talked about last night, that we're all creatures of habit. We have habitual ways of thinking, which create habitual ways of feeling, which create habitual behaviors, which create the results that we're getting, right? So thanks for inviting. By the way, I just will mention this now. I'm going to mention it tomorrow. Tomorrow, when I do the scope tomorrow, I'm actually going to live draw the name from, a metaphorical hat of those of you that have shared, that have invited your followers either on Facebook or on Twitter. And you can easily do that just by if you're on an iPhone, iOS, swipe left to right, you'll see there's a share button and there's a follow button as well. So thank you. Is that PS Pan? Thank you, Megan. You'll see there's a share button. And what that does is it shares it with those that are on Twitter. Your name goes into a hat. Every 15 will go into a hat. I'm going to pull out a name and you're going to get a 30-minute one-to-one session with me. We tackle anything you want to tackle free of charge on Skype, so we'll be able to see one another. And as a way of saying thank you for helping me get the message out there. So, as I say, now maps. Last night we used MAPS to look at the 3 ways that we can change our lives. There's really only 3 ways that we can change our lives. So it's not that difficult, but it's not necessarily easy to do sometimes. The M, help you evolve. Thank you for inviting your followers. The M stands for medium. And that's about changing things outside of ourselves. Situations, surroundings, circumstances, objects, and those objects may be people. It's about changing things outside. And by changing things outside, it can often create a shift inside. And we can also change the A in maps, which is our actions. We can do different things. We can change what we do, what we say, and that changes inside as well. And we can also change the P, which is perceptions. We can work on shifting the meaning we give things, the beliefs that we have about what's going on around us and ourselves, right? So M-A-P, map, all right? Change the map and you change everything. And as I said last night, all of those are interconnected. When you change one, you change the other. If you affect one, in fact the M, you affect the A and the P. If you change the P, you affect the M and the A, right? So that's basically how it works. So that's what we covered last night. So I'm going to fire a question at you. I'm going to have a sip of tea. It takes a while for what you type in to come up. But let's see what you think the answer is. So here's my question. What do you think is the fastest way to create a new mindset? What would you say it is? In your opinion, what's the fastest way to create a new mindset? Welcome to those of you that are just joining. My name is Colin Hiles. I'm known as the Mindset Guy. I basically love sharing mind hacks on how to achieve goals and be more successful and more fulfillment. So we've got change your surrounding. Okay, great. Change your surrounding. That's one of the quickest ways. Very good. Anyone else? What else have we got? How else would you say, or what would you say is the quickest way to change your mindset? And I think sometimes the easiest way. Graham, welcome. Good to see you. Focus on the positive. Stop thinking. I've never managed to do that one. Stop thinking. There's always chatter going on in my mind. All right, great. Change the action. Change what you do. Okay, very good. All right, so we've got a few ideas there. Just start. That's interesting. Just start. Very good. Very good. All right, so I think hypnosis. Is that Lottie has said? Lottie, hypnosis? Yeah, that is a quick way of changing. Absolutely. And that works on the perception or the mindset or the beliefs or the maps that we're operating from, the mental maps, right? So to change the way we think, to change the way we feel, interpret, react, cope, and make small positive changes, very good, and communicate. I'm going to give you 3 simple words, all right? 3 simple words. And some of you're sort of spot on with what you're putting down there, or it could be tied quite nicely into it. Here's the 3 words. Experience new things. All right, experience new things. So if you want to take a screenshot of this, here's something you might want to take a screenshot of. You can also share this, by the way, but well, let's get that down and out of the way. There we go. Hopefully you can see that. It says to think different, do different. To think different, do different. And I'd like to explain now on the scope what the hell do I mean by to think different, do different. You got it. Experience new things. Exactly. Experience new things. So when we do things we've never done before, there is an instant internal shift. It happens naturally by doing things that we've never done before. Our expectations change, our beliefs change, how we feel about things change, and it happens pretty quickly. It happens in an instant. And I'm going to give you two examples from my experience or the experience of my family. And you can be thinking about your own examples, because I'd love to hear about that. Robin, welcome to tonight's scope, which is the fastest way to change or to get a new mindset is what we're looking at here. All right. So for the most part, I would say we don't actually think our way into a new mindset. We actually act our way into a new mindset. And this has been going on since we have been, babies. Welcome, Rose White Plump, is that? Welcome to tonight's scope. This has been going on since we've been babies. But we don't often think about change this way. It's a sort of a new way about thinking about creating a new mindset and changing our lives. Because when you shift your mindset, as I said, you basically shift everything. So what I'm talking about here is acting our way into a new mindset, or taking action that creates a new mindset. And I put a few things down here. An example would be, if you think about this video, right? If you see it worthless or highly valuable, that's down to you and the action that you take on it. It is worthless if you don't take any action. If you sit there and passively listen to me on these scopes and don't do the homework that I recommend, then you're a passive player. Not much is really going to change for you, right? It's the action, taking action on it, that begins to make the shifts. And the quicker you act on the ideas that I give you, the quicker you're going to get some sort of shift. You're going to create a new experience for yourself, right? So I want you to get ready at the end, because I'm going to give you two examples now, personal examples. I want you to get ready to share maybe one or two of your own. So be thinking about this as I go through. I'm going to stimulate your thinking, because you've already been doing this. This is about doing it a bit more purposely and deliberately. So Aswin, welcome to tonight's scope. So if I give you a personal one first, right? All of us have fears. I have fears, you have fears. Fears is part and parcel of being human. As soon as you set a new goal, you're going to bump into some internal resistance. There's going to be a part of you that's going to hold you back. And if it's a big lofty goal, if it's a real transformational goal, the more inner resistance that you're going to experience. That's just called being human. That's just the way the brain works, right? So we all experience fears. Every one of us has fears. And there's a whole number of different fears, right? Fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of looking an idiot, fear of making a fool of yourself, and they go on and on and on, right? So to give you a story, many years ago, I used to work for Tony Robbins, right? Robbins Research. You may have heard Tony Robbins. He's pretty well known in North America, and the guy is an earthquake. I mean, he shakes people up and he creates tremendous change. And we did the firewalk with Tony, but those of us that did it were interested around, where did Tony learn the firewalk from? And he learned it from an individual called Tolly Burkan. Now, Tolly Burkan lives in California, so we decided to go out and see Tolly. So 3 of us went out to see Tolly to learn how you do a firewalk, how you build the fire, how you get people ready and get them across the coals safely, okay, without getting burnt. And Tolly took us through a whole load of different exercises. I mean, I'll give you some of them. One of them was to create a round fire pit, all right? These are burning hot coals, and we had to dance the coals out. So we couldn't stop going on them until we had danced the coals out. And that was about 20 minutes in total. So for 20 minutes, we're jumping on these hot coals, coming off of them, jumping on them. Now, you think you get a mindset shift at the end of that around possibility, what can be done? Do you think you might, the brain starts thinking, hang on, if I could do this, what else could I do? And that's just one thing that we did. We did a whole raft of these breakthrough metaphors that he had. And they were mind-blowing. I mean, literally, it blew out the belief systems that I had around what was possible. So I came away from that trip to California, empowered, more confident, less fearful, ready to tackle bigger things. So, and that is a consequence of doing the firewalk, right? And some of the other things that we did. So be thinking of your own here. What else have you done? All right. So here's another one. So we're here in Spain, and the children get to go to Morocco they get to go to Morocco, but I'll talk about Uganda. They get to go to Uganda to an orphanage, okay, which is quite a long way from Spain, quite a trip. And our son has done this. Sonny has done this. And every parent talks about when the children come home, they've changed. They're different. They're more mature. They're more grown up. They're just different, right? Now, what has caused that? What has happened for that to happen? And also, by the way, when the children leave the school and talk about their time at the school, it's the single biggest thing they all talk about. It's always there. It was such a big event for them, such a big experience for them. It's always there. In Spain, Gibraltar is in Spain. It's just outside Spain, actually. Gibraltar. It's connected to Spain, western tip of Spain. Now, if you think about what's going on, these kids live in quite an affluent area, and they get to go to a part of the world where most people have no money, sometimes have no roof over their head, are literally fighting day to day, no education. And they get to interact with these children that are orphans, that are being taken care of by this school. And they get to do things for them. And they get to see that these kids are totally happy with nothing, that are joyous from just being alive, from learning even, how happy they are to learn. And do you think that might change these teenagers? Do you think they might come back and be a little bit humbled, a little bit grateful as a result? Of course. So it shifts them. The experience creates the internal shift. And that's what I'm talking about here. It creates a new mental map for them in which they begin to see the world out of. They are changed, and changed for good, as a result of that experience. Gibraltar is Spain No, Gibraltar isn't in Spain, actually. So, all right. So think about your own experiences. What have you got? Let me give you a couple more. I want you to start typing in, what are your own experiences? Where have you experienced something that created an internal shift for you? Even if it was a little internal shift. What have you experienced that's created a little internal shift for you? So it could be that you ran your first marathon, and as a result of running your first marathon or half marathon or something like that, it created new expectations, a new belief system, new disciplines, and that you had more confidence in yourself as a result of that. Maybe it's that, you didn't think that you were very bright and you went back to school and, you studied and you learned and you took some exams and you got a degree as a result of that, and you felt good and proud about yourself as a result of that. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's, starting your own business, being an entrepreneur. I've gone through this one myself. When you're out on your own, no safety net, it does change the way you view yourself in terms of possibilities. So share, what have you got? Tell me a little bit about your own experiences. I've just given you a few there. Give me an idea of what you've done that has created an internal shift for you. Some would say having a baby, being a parent, massive shift. So there's loads, but I want you to come up with your own. So I'm going to have a sip of my tea. Let me know what you've got. Moving to Spain at 22, exactly. A lot of people talk about that, Megan. Going to live in a new country really changed things. It was scary and daunting and all new, and some couldn't even speak the language. I don't know if that's true for you. Creating a morning ritual, exactly. Creating a morning ritual changes. I read somewhere that, just the discipline of making the bed, first thing you do, make the bed, starts the process of achieving something. I've already achieved something tiny, and away we go. So I read that somewhere. I think it was someone on a course. Help You Evolve joined. Well, welcome back. So good, we got a couple there. Have any of you travelled to another country, lived in another country for a while, and as a result that changed, what you thought about yourself? I mean, Sonny is going to be going back to live in London next year as he goes back, or London, I don't know, back to uni, or to uni, I should say. Studied over the internet and realised I learned more than others that paid for the class. Very good. Love it. So you just learn it over the internet. And now think about how that changed how you viewed yourself. Think about what that did for your confidence and your self-belief. It might not be a huge change. Walking across hot coals is often a big change. That's why Tony Robbins does it, right? It might be a small change, but you add up all these little changes and they begin a new mindset. They begin a new mental model we start seeing the world out of. So great, we've got some examples, okay? So here's your homework, right? Here's your homework. What I'd like you to do is think about how you can create the next experience for yourself. Now, it doesn't have to be major. Often if it's major, ask questions at a conference. Lots of very clever and powerful people. Very good, Lottie, exactly. So notice what happened when you did ask those questions. Maybe it was scary to ask those questions. Maybe there was part of you saying, don't open your mouth, don't open your mouth. But you did it. And as a result, it changes the way you see yourself. Not only that, changes the way other people see you. So think about something you can do. Make it, rather than making it major, because if you make it major, then what will happen is you talk yourself out of it. So make it minor, a little tiny thing. So it could be, starting a yoga class. It could be learning to play an instrument. It could be going for a run. It could be speaking to a homeless person. It could be doing some volunteering work. I mean, the list goes on and on and on of how we can break out of a habitual way of doing things into something else. It could be driving a new way to work. It could be walking instead of, get on a bike. I mean, there's so many things that you can do. Was that Gotality Media, is that? Welcome. I'm just getting close to closing this now. So if you're interested in the fastest way to create a new mindset, watch the replay. So that's your homework. That's what I'd like you to do.
Hey, before you go, I'd like to offer you something very special. 4 advanced mind power training videos, yours absolutely free. In video number 1, we look at how to overcome subconscious sabotage syndrome. In video number 2, how to get into the optimum state to achieve your goals. In video number 3, how to activate the law of attraction with mind power. And video number 4, how to stop negative thinking and program your subconscious mind for success. Now, these 4 videos are designed to do one thing, and that's to help you achieve your goals, your aims, quicker, faster, and easier. And you can get them right now by going to www.advancedmindpowertraining.com or clicking on the link below this video.